I was leveling my gnome warlock on a blocky laptop to the tune of cicadas and sun showers, when, while crossing through Red Ridge Mountains, I saw him. A paladin in full raid gear. My jaw dropped. To me, this was the coolest armor I had ever seen.
Whoa there, traveler. Why do your eyes wander so?
Huh? Sorry, I was looking at your armor. Speaking of which, how do you get that armor?
Play the game.
This struck me as I was currently playing the game. What could he possibly mean by this? But before I could inquire any further, the mysterious holy knight said to me,
Alright, look, level up, dude. Do Firelands? That's literally all. Alright, I gotta go. Peace. I believe in you, little dude.
He rode off, and ignorantly, I questioned the empty air. What the hell is Firelands? Without an answer, I decided to seek it out for myself. And though I was slow at leveling and missed out on doing Firelands while it was the current raid, now I have myself a second chance at getting some of that cool flaming armor I saw all that time ago. And second chances is what classic WoW is all about, right? Greetings from the abyss, ladies and everyone else, and welcome to the expansion everyone wants, but nobody wants to admit they need. It's been a minute since my masterpiece trilogy, Kosher the Kingslayer, blessed all of our senses, and a lot has happened in the meantime. Cataclysm Classic came out, goblins were added to WoW. Yes! I was temporarily detained by fate and unable to play games or create videos. No. And the world of Azeroth is now a reference to my favorite Bo Burnham song, A World on Fire.
This first song is called A World on Fire.
But here I am, on fire as well, with a lot to talk about. So let's get you caught up to speed in the best way I know how, by telling you a beat-by-beat narrative throughout Cataclysm, as I traverse levels 80 to 85 and reach the endgame. A story with an abundance of elemental aesthetic and copious amounts of cyber cartel celebration. Only question, where to begin? Well, naturally, it all began when I was born. I think that's going a bit too far back. So let's start when I logged in on the launch of Cataclysm Classic, only to find myself stuck, buried under the auction house, with hundreds of other souls who weren't given a drachma to give to the ferryman of the River Styx. Luckily, since I sold so many skeleton jokes, I have quite a few drachma, and I also own a keyboard with a spacebar and was able to escape this ethereal prison by jumping. Though, for the rest of them, all those players are still down there, staring, waiting, thinking. Canonically, whenever you're in the auction house, just know you are being stalked by 100 damned souls who couldn't escape the telltale heartbreaking fate that damned them all. Who can see you, but you can't see them. But I'm not one of them, for I'm free. And with this freedom came the knowledge that Orgrimmar was vastly changed, and the world of Azeroth alongside it. This is due to Deathwing, the emo dragon, sundering Azeroth, wavering all the otherwise stable elements, faltering continents and cities alike, prolapsing the planet, and deciding that he wanted to adapt the biblical book of Revelation with lots of creative liberty. Why? Well, because he was underground while all his co-workers were doing awesome shit like partying and casting spells, and so the Lovecraftian mythos decided to introduce themselves. On his own, he's a swell guy, he's a stand-up guy, but you give him a bit of Cthulhu sugar, and he gets a bit cuckoo, a bit crazy, a little bit, uh-oh, wacky! And this wacky dracky is quite the formidable foe, and needs an equally deranged and formidable opponent. In that moment, it became clear that it was up to our sentimental sorceress to put an end to Deathwing, avenge Azeroth, and vanquish Deathwing once and for all. I mean, I've murdered the Lich King, surely this will be no brow off my sweat, but the raid to actually kill Deathwing comes out in like a year. We gotta start a bit smaller, come on, current goal. Hit max level 85. Very little people know this, but I'm extremely famous and abundantly ready to take on this newly changed world of Warcraft. Welcome to Kosher's Cataclysm Classic Adventures. Buckle in, bitch, because it's about to get elemental as shit. Spin to win? Yeah, he lost. And that's an ongoing theme for any Alliance players whenever I'm out in the world questing. Some I let slip by, but I always make sure to change the trajectory of their lives in one way or another. Take the Pipe and Storm Hero, for example. Now, the Pipe was a night elf hunter who was considerably wary around me. Given the fact that I'm from a kill-on-sight cyber cartel, I don't think I have to explain to you why, but I figured to give them some space to breathe while we were both questing in the caverns of Gargoyle's Hovel. However, when a dwarf shaman named Storm Hero, badass and thought-out name, man, accidentally attacked me, I decided to end his life. I then devoured his corpse to regain my health and turned to see the Pipe, frozen like a deer in headlights. Word is, the Pipe was voluntarily checked into a psych ward last Thursday. It's a win-win. It's a spin to win. Or take Kalevra, the Worgen Wizard. This guy, I actively went out of my way to make him feel safe around me. Deep in the Firelands Forgeworks, I followed and stalked him. I helped him slay certain monsters and watched his back while we waited for the boss to respawn. This was, of course, to lure him into a sense of false security, for when the hour of Kosher came, I traced his carefree steps to the Inferno and saw him deep in combat with the quest boss, Tholimbar, who Kalevra was fighting for quite a bit. But just as the quest boss hit 5% HP, I murdered Kalevra, ate his horrible corpse, and fucked off on my nether drake. He stood no chance. This wasn't a matchup he was gonna win. Spin to win? Yeah, I sure hope it does. Short story put long, that's why I can't quest in the open world. I am a detriment to everyone around me. So my therapist insisted that I level through dungeons instead, and while questing is the most effective and efficient way of leveling in Cataclysm, as you gain reputation with various factions that will give you pre-raid best-in-slot items and enchants, I couldn't give a fuck about efficiency. I'm literally the bad guy, and by dungeon leveling, I'm defeating myself. I am the good guy now. You are subscribed to me, and you just liked the video. Thanks in advance for leaving a nice comment. So yeah, I leveled up in dungeons instead, and it's a good thing I did too. While you were busy questing on the overworld, I was in the dungeons, learning about the elements from their very sources. An understanding of the 4 elements is crucial if I am to put the world back together. And the 4 base dungeons of Cataclysm are what I want to pinpoint on, as each one is dedicated to one of said 4 elements. There's the Throne of the Tides, the Stoner Core, Blackrock Caverns, and the Vortex Pinnacle. While there's more dungeons that unlock later on in leveling and at max level, these are the 4 you're gonna get the most accustomed to. So without further ado, let's talk about this shit, starting with the Throne of the Tides. Today I set out on a grand voyage to find the 4 elemental shards and craft them into an entity that'll guide me to defeating Deathwing. And what better way to pursue such a journey than to foil it with my previous? I started my last adventure to slay the Lich King with the worst paladin in the world, and so now I'll start my next adventure with the best paladin in the world. Hey there, you silly little failure.
Yo!
Welcome aboard my boat.
12 seconds later.
Here's how I feel. I think WoW is a game.
No, I disagree.
Dude, I'm literally gonna ram this Jack in the Box cup up my ass. Founder of Zealand.
Is that an iceberg?
Oh no! No! Cozy! How did you let this happen to us?
Wait, I'm undead. I can't drown. Sorry, S-Fan. But look, we made it to the Throne of the Tides. Did you guys like that segue? I think it was pretty good. This was the first dungeon I came across on my journey of my no reputation dungeon-locked ultimate Iron Mage. It's the home of the elemental lord of water, Neptulon, and the conflict going on down here hits tremendously different as you traverse the watery halls and get slapped across the face by the beauty of this sea-inspired water park. With the briny breeze in our pixels, the 5 of us must embark on an adventure through the beautiful splash zone of water's elemental realm to prevent it from being taken over by an army of crazed sea serpents and Lovecraftian monsters.
I wouldn't drink this if I was thirsting to death,
Said Alita, linking greasy whale milk in the chat. I'll buy it off of you.
You would kosher. Lol.
Does this bastard think I'm playing some sort of game? I'm not! End of dungeon. Open trade with me. 200 gold. I'll take it. With that, we ensued the first boss, Lady Nazjar, who sounds an awfully lot like Nazjatar, And she's one of the bosses ever, actually. Essentially, she's the blueprint for every single Destiny boss fight. You hit her until she goes completely immune and spawns multitudes of ads. You slay the ads, and she becomes damageable once again. Rinse and repeat. This is outstanding video game design and not one bit monotonous, shit, or boring. We repeat and rinse until she is antonymous with alive, and in the beautiful blue and gold ambiance of Lady Jizjar's quarters, we commence forth past her corpse, hurling ourselves right into the next boss. Commander Ulthok, the Festering Prince. Very attractive name. I think I'm a bit wet. An ancient Lovecraftian being known as a Faceless One. Wait, but I can see his face. He commands a legion of other Faceless Ones sent by the old gods to conquer the element of water itself. And he's more of a World of Warcraft boss. That is, you get to play the game, just don't stand in the black puddles like this fucking guy. Oh, good, he's moving. He's moving into another black puddle. Yes, I love classic WoW. Speedrunning. We make our way past the beautiful coral-infested seafloor battlegrounds and come to Erunak, Stone Speaker. He makes the ground blow up, but he isn't even the boss. You actually have to beat the boss out of him. Once you do enough collateral damage to this poor guy's prefrontal cortex, you get the actual boss, Mindbender Gershaw, who latches onto a player and mind controls them, effectively turning them into the boss. Afterwards, there's these dark beams and you gotta break them with line of sight and a number of other attacks I couldn't give a shit about, just trust my swag. We killed him, we moved on, it's cool. After taking a page out of the Philippines book and massacring multitudes of aquatic life forms with plastic and magic, it's a wonderful combo, we end up at the Coral Garden, where Neptulon himself was getting his ass sucked by all these Dagon cosplayers. But then, you guys don't get it. He makes us really fucking big, and now you're astrally projecting, you are falling in love with me, and we have to kill a squid named Ozumat.
Behold the power of pure water!
I am a fire mage. But alas, it matters not, for the squid Ozumat is defeated, and Neptulon ejaculates quietly into the night, never to be seen from again. Literally. Afterwards, I acquire my greasy whale milk for free. What? And book it out of Poseidon's crib before any Cyclopean whispers want to kick it in my cranium. It's here that I'll say that Pearl Princess is the best modern Barbie film, but it may hold a torch to the classics. Regardless, it clears the rest of the modern Barbie film selection from its aesthetics, Shakespearean writing, and its subversion of well-established tropes. A banging mermaid film that is reminiscent of King Lear, all within the expansive mythos of the Barbieverse. Anyways, water rune acquired. With the power of pure water mastered, I have but 3 more elements to study, and 3 more dungeons to pursue to master them. The next being the Stoner Core. Stoner Core? I barely know her. This dungeon is an underground bipolar cavern of loathsome liabilities. It was once considered the hardest dungeon in the game, by the way, since it was the first dungeon with mechanics. Oh my god. But I'm not bloating my fucking video by talking about that shit. The Stoner Core, located in Deathwing's crib itself, the elemental plane of Earth, Deepholm, was once a super chill hangout with a Land of the Lustrous type of vibe. We had rocks, gems, and ore everywhere. If Mr. Beast was here, he would love it, considering all the potential there is to attract minors. But alas, the Stoner Core was corrupted by Deathwing, and now everything here is nihilist and evil. To wild how often those two overlap. The first boss is Corborus, a massive sandworm from Dune Part 2, who's a worm made of gems, and he is shedding. Me when I'm shedding?
Oh, man's driving a shed on the M25.
Corborus goes into the ground and spikes you. I'm talking straight up, makes you boof the crystal on God, on me. And though his name sounds like a RuneScape boss, he is actually in fact one of the bosses of World of Warcraft. He is excessive in the easy department and passionately easy. So is clicking subscribe because I have the best videos ever. After Shai Hulud is fucking dead, we commence forth to Slabhide. This dude is dope as shit, homie. He's a massive corrupted earth dragon who brings the fucking roof down and makes it explode. Lots of elementary dodging required, lots of spells and slashing. I'm very good at public speaking, and when Slabhide is dead, he drops an amazing mount. Allegedly. I've actually never seen it drop. Until now! Oh, it worked. I wasn't expecting that. It has a really low drop chance. I really spun to win. The next boss is Ozruk. He was constructed as the protector of the Stoner Core since the literal creation of Deepholm, and nobody knows why he's still here. He didn't even need any corruption, he just decided to stick around. He's a real one for that. This guy has mechanics, but I'm a caster, so I just put a dot on him and walk away. I slap my ass to show dominion over my destiny, the Taken King. And we all take ourselves to the deepest corridors of this crystal fuckfest. Gather up 1,000,001 cultists to mow them like emo blades of grass. Then, we get to the crazy curse lady herself, the high priestess Azula of the Twilight Hammer. Her bit is that she is a WoW boss, you know, don't stand in the shit type beat, until she decides to float up into the air and let her parasocial followers try to deal with you. Then she throws 3 rocks at you. If this is all the power the element of Earth can muster, I must admit, it really puts into perspective why Ninjago had to give Cole a wicked golden scythe to make Earth look somewhat rad. Ever hear the expression, dumb as dirt? Yeah, it's no secret. Azula is trampled in like 15 seconds, and the Stoner Core grows silent. Earth Rune acquired. Complete waste of time. Stupid element. Boring boss. L. Plus radio. Plus water and earth. And still only level 82. We're making a good pace, and it's crazy how I've not been harassed once in these dungeons yet. I really hope we can keep this. The Blackrock Caverns. The Blackrock Caverns are a set of interconnected subterranean hallways created by Deathwing, used to transport flame elementals from Blackrock Mountain to the realm of fire, properly named, the Firelands, filled with flames and embers. This dungeon is also home to Faralina fuckers, flaming the dope fire-flinging kosher when I've done no wrong. Fuck you! Why is it always Faralina? Have I gone and made an enemy? It's safe to say that if the enemy I've made is Faralina, I'm doing things right, and I'm going to be okay. Anyway, have you ever just zoned into Blackrock Caverns and then...
Basta de corla, Kosher, Ninja.
What the fuck does that mean? Who the hell even are you? Let's backtrack like 10 seconds. So, I joined the Volcano dungeon. The first boss is dead. Doesn't make a difference to me. So I trek my way to the second boss, Korla, just in time for us to absolutely blast her. We have to line of sight these lasers and make sure everything around her is dead so we don't accidentally turn it into a Twilight Hammer circle jerk. But next to that, the fight is straightforward enough. When she dies, she dropped a wand. As one does, I click greed, like everybody else in the party, except for this guy named Chunkhunk, who clicked need, since he needed it. However, Gairan was a little pissed for no foreseeable reason and attempted to cause drama where there was none.
Basta de corla,
He screamed, which was the name of the wand.
Kosher, Ninja.
I, of course, respond with a sensible parry. Question marks? I greeted and didn't win it?
You took an item you already are.
What?
I need it in 1.
Said Chunkhunk, breaking the fiery silence. I didn't take it. I don't have it. Scroll up. I didn't win. Literally, Chunk won it.
Corla's baton.
I already used to invoke.
What?
You kids from Faralina are something else.
He didn't ninja it. I won the roll dumbass.
Gairan, you so awkward that your mama had to tie a pork chop to you so the dog would play with you as a kid. Shut the fuck up and get off my dick, bitch. I then tried to give him food before we entered the next boss, only to find, oh no, he put me on ignore. Oh no. This dungeon seems to bring out the worst in people around me. This is a cursed place, literally. And that's a shame considering it's one of the most banging dungeons around. Karsh Steelbender is a dope litty fight that absolutely slaps the king. Using the furnace and the fires around to melt his armor so that you can deal more damage to him as the elementals are spawning from the very flames that you're using to your advantage is fucking sick. Beauty is goofy. And the final boss, Ascendant Lord Obsidius, is all around a DPS check, but one that can cause a lot of problems if you don't have a mastermind with you. Me. The myth of Narcissus may have been based on me. The only difference is I can fucking swim. Did I mention I love fire, believe it or not? I also dig that the final boss is actually a shadow magic user despite the entire dungeon being all Lords of Cinder. After we defeat Lord Obsidius, a trinket dropped that's extremely good for casters, and quite rare. And so every magic user needed on it, including Gairan, Faralina's strongest soldier. The clock was ticking, sweat was beating, and above all else, against all odds, somehow, I won! I laughed in Gairan's face as the party said grats, and I got my trinket, and he stood there in silence, undoubtedly false reporting me. Adios, you silly bitch. Gyren, if you're out there, just know your mom's a virgin. Owned. Fire rune acquired. With water, earth, and fire fully grasped, it's time we take a deep dive upwards to the most wicked place since early 2000s laser tag arenas, the Dungeon of Air, the Vortex Pinnacle. Welcome back to your regularly scheduled program. That was a great take. I'm leaving that one in. The dopest shit you'll see until you die, and DMT floods your brain, little fool. Off the coast of Uldum, you'll come to find floating spires, as there are cities in the sky. The Sky Wall. This is the realm of air, which was crafted by the Titan Forged with the purpose of imprisoning the air elementals. Alakir's strongest soldiers assembled in the Vortex Pinnacle, a part of this ominously floating set of prison cities in the clouds, and our job is to get rid of Alakir's army and win. Aside from some seriously top-notch lore, the Vortex Pinnacle, aesthetically speaking, clears all other dungeons in WoW up to this point by a fucking astronomical unit. The skybox alone carries it so far and above what was previously established. We make our way through the pinnacle with aerodynamic competence, slaughtering the elemental airheads until we make it to the Cyclone Summit, where the first boss sits, Grand Vizier Urtan. She uses a number of wacky abilities, initially surrounding us with cyclones and moving them around in a ring, pulling them to and fro to trip us up and fuck our shit around. That, coupled with her serious lightning powers, makes her quite the formidable foe. But, Urtan, you fail to see, this is a 5-man dungeon. You were dead before the box even shipped, bastard. With her defeat, I took a sigh of relief that the wand didn't drop. We then take quite possibly the coolest maneuver of transportation since the United Kingdom. Wait, what? Honestly, riding in a cyclone is the most baller shit anyone could ever whip up. The fact people look at Cataclysm and say with a straight face, yeah, this is mid, is beyond me. Making our way through Nimbus Rise, we begin to slay Storm Drakes and Empyrean assassins, trek across dangerous puzzle bridges, and ascend higher and higher, the watercolor sky eclipsed by the Cyclopean Tower at the Pinnacle's heart, to meet face to face with the massive storm dragon Alarius, who is one of the most fun bosses in the game, as he will blast wind in a random direction, and by having your back to whichever direction the wind is blowing, you'll be granted increased movement and attack speed, all while he is blowing his icy breath at random players, spicing up movement, positioning, and the need to fucking pray. Though, if your prayer level is high enough and Lady Luck is on your side, you can down the dragon in no time and progress onward. He also drops a mount, allegedly. I'm much more interested in riding the tornadoes. Like, look at me go. I'm sky high on swag-amphetamine. It's insane. Dueling with Skyfall stars and fanatical servants of the mysterious Assad, we make our way deeper into Cloud 10 before being face to face with the big man himself. No, not Alakir, but Assad, who wishes to become one of the conclaves of wind. So he's a subservient yes man to everything that Alakir says and wants. All around, he's a pretty solid boss too, literally. Essentially, he summons Skyfall stars around the arena at random that need to be killed, all while he is drawing a triangle out of lightning. We need to run and stand inside of the triangle before it's finished, because after he's done finger painting with lightning, anyone outside of the triangle, the 13th major arcana card. There's also chain lightning and like some little hits here and there. Who fucking cares about that? He draws a triangle and we gotta hop in it. That's so goofy to me. And the fact that he treats his elemental powers like a 4-year-old treats a crayon and still believes he's gonna be a conclave of the wind bumps him up to an S tier boss. But I'm an S++ tier mage, and therefore he falls victim to my flames and frenzy. The eerie floating city over Uldum's tropical coast grows quiet. Air rune acquired. With all 4 elemental runes obtained, I now had to reach level 85 to craft the mysterious entity that'll guide me to defeating Deathwing. And with all dungeons conquered multiple times over, I sat comfortably at level 84. One level sat between greatness and me, and I intended to obtain it in Egypt. While partaking in the dull and deadening events of helping cat people deal with all the Egypt everywhere, and offering solutions to those who pondered the afterlife but were stuck in denial, that magic moment came, and so did I. with a plethora of sin, a splenetic abundance of elemental mastery, and an army of cats as my witness. The golden flakes rained down upon me for the final time, and I gracefully hit max level in a temple right beneath the eradicated levitating pinnacle, kneeling with my face in a catman's crotch. This is World of fucking Warcraft! Now, at max level, I knew what I had to do next. With all 4 elemental runes rounded together, I used the last of the skeleton jester fortune to fund an engineering addiction. For just shy of 30,000 gold, I banged out all 500 and something levels, listening to epic rap battles of history in Indonesian, on mute, and in no time at all, I became a Grandmaster Engineer. It is at this point that I traveled to the Temple of Earth in Deepholm with the 4 elemental runes in possession, to craft them into a single entity. I want you, the viewer, to take a deep breath, soldier, perhaps put down the lubricant and listen. This is what it's all led up to. This is what mastery over the 4 governing forces of our world creates. This is the pinnacle, elemental creation. Stand up, soldier, for a moment like this comes once in a millennia. This is the peak of the mountain. This is where I fucking roll! It's, goggles. I made goggles. What the fuck am I gonna do with goggles? At least in RuneScape, they give me, like, an anti-dragon shield to go kill a dragon. What the fuck is this? This is a letdown. A letdown. I can't believe it. Absurd. I knew I should have quit after we killed Arthas, and I should have just logged in to do the Darkmoon Faire dailies like I was. Oh, I can't believe I actually gave this a shot. Goggles. Fucking goggles. Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Goggles? Fucking goggles? Alright, I'm sold. Now you guys know why I've been wearing these goofy things the whole time I was telling you the story in past tense. Yeah, I can't take them off. Ever. With max level obtained, every element absorbed, and my gaze dead set on Deathwing the Destroyer, and some wacky whispers in my head, I equipped the goggles and they were bound to me forevermore. I trusted in the great old words, and decided it best to take a momentary chill at the Darkmoon Faire, my favorite place in Azeroth, where I had been spotted in an iceblock after 100 days of logging in just to do the dailies here, cause I was so burnt out. This is the calm before the storm, and I'd much rather like to spend my time in a Gestus Festus theme park than some half-burnt city filled with the unfortunate and unfunny. It is here that we take a pause in the narrative, for the path ahead is one filled with criminal mischief, horrible experiences and heroic dungeons, Faralina failures, tarot readings, synergy shenanigans, suck my root, and above all else, a newfound fire-fueled promise. The emo dragon Deathwing's harrowing destruction of the world shall not go unpunished. And if I am the only one who can put an end to it, then so be it. I promise you this. With these goofy goggles now in possession, I can see the path before me so vividly, and I'll make this impossible feat a reality. Through rain, wind, earthquakes, or volcanic ejaculation, I will save Azeroth and become Kosher the Kingslayer. But that is a tale for another time.
Last time, we witnessed Kosher the Kingslayer go on a grand elemental adventure in search for 4 runes, which he turned into a pair of goggles that allow foresight into various futures. Though it came at a cost, Kosher then sold his soul, or lack thereof, to a mysterious entity from the void, who promised to guide Kosher to the future he wanted most, and all he had to do was follow the dark whispered commands that escape from the goggles.
Kill the trolls, massacre the alone, destroy the Gurbashi, subscribe and like the video, kill the trolls, kill the trolls, kill the trolls.
Greetings, heretics! Apologies, I couldn't hear you over the, whispers. What's that? Where am I? Oh, I'm in the elemental realm of fire. It's cleverly called the Firelands. How did I get here? That's also a good question, and it's a really good story. So please sit down around the fire, really you can pick any one of them, and allow me to tell you the tale of how I overcame one of the biggest hurdles in any MMO. Allow me to set the scene. Cataclysm Classic has a pretty straightforward endgame that revolves around doing difficult max level dungeons called heroics to earn high-end gear. Where Cataclysm differs is its inclusion of 2 mini raid-like dungeons called Zulamon and Zul'Gurub, which give insane amounts of valor points and tons of high-level items. And this was all we had for like 7 months. And since the whispers keep telling me to kill the trolls for some reason, I decided to queue up for a random Zandalari dungeon. No guides, no shirt, no service, no bullshit, and I ended up in ZA, only to join when most of it was finished. Half the group had been executed, somebody was beating off in the corner, and 1 minute was left on this ominous clock above. The tank then attacked me in my whispers for nothing. I just got here. Then he called my videos cringe, wiped the party, stole a spell dagger from me, and left. Wait, but he can't even use that. He do be right though. I can't believe we've gotten to this point. I can't even play classic WoW anymore without motherfuckers treating me like I'm Jaime Lannister.
Kingslayer, role player, mage without water.
Oh, come on, it's not that serious! At this point, I've gotten so spiteful towards anybody in a heroic dungeon who dare look my way that I've started spitting in my food when I conjure it. I even put lobotomies in my spaghetti.
Mum, this tastes different. Did you put anything different in it?
I put a bit of...
Regardless, this slap in the face, knowing that I'm no longer safe in the random dungeon finder, was what led me to standing still in Orgrimmar, next to Welcome Mat. Yeah, over a year has passed, and he's still sitting here outside the auction house, role-playing as a welcome. You get it. I took all this as my cue to maybe not use the public dungeon finder for ZA and ZG, and to instead do these dungeons as the Lord intended, with my guild, Synergy. One problem, I wasn't a member of my guild. I was demoted to inactive. How can you say that when I've been here every day in your thoughts and prayers and dreams and so on?
Look at the bow.
The bow.
Need the bow.
Oh, guys, I gotta take the bow.
Take the bow.
So sure, what do you need a bow for?
Oh, that's a great question. I asked the very simple question, how does one become a member again? To which Fallen answered, play more. Wait, whoa, why is everybody getting kicked? What I thought to be a relatively simple question seemed to trigger a domino effect in which every person in the guild started to be removed one by one. When you're in a super sweaty top performing guild that also acts as a literal cyber cartel and you're watching people get executed left and right, it feels like the wildest bullet in the chain roulette game you'll ever get the chance of playing. And whilst I thankfully didn't bite that bullet and remained in the guild, I will not lie when I say I still felt the smoking gun pointed at my head. It was there that I adopted a new goal, the chance to do the unthinkable. I became a member of this cyber cartel once by scamming hundreds of people and raining down a regicidal PvP raid on the Alliance. And I'll do it again, whatever it takes. Fuck the dungeons. Fuck the gear. Hey, fuck you too. It's nothing personal. I don't know, I was on a roll. I made it my goal to secure my place in Synergy and not get booted. And to do that, I have to play more. Well, you want to play, Fallen? Then let's fucking play Zul'Gurub. I joined a Discord call with some of my guildmates who were thrilled to be meeting the one and only Kosher the Kingslayer. Yo.
Oh, hey!
Oh, shoot.
What's up, Kosher? Fallen's ready for the interview.
Ready for the interview?
Good. I was not expecting that the first time.
I have so
Everyone
much
in here is 360 item level or higher, and fucking we're all alive.
And I heard this mage is a legend. We'll be fine.
Well, that's a weird way to pronounce deity.
But we'll be fine.
Here, my reputation as a god precedes me. Oh, come on, is it really a complex if I have a better KD ratio than Jesus Christ and it's as simple as that? Anyways, we pulled up to Zul'Gurub.
Okay, well, that's...
What the fuck is that?
Turtle.
I thought it was a tortoise. The first boss is the Noxus. This guy's bit is Venom. Ain't that a shock? Every spell of his is greener than an immature recycling bin with a Razer headset. You do not need to tell me that this priest is high. Anyways, after doing this guy 100 times, I'll say this. I don't know what he does. I know he links two players and they're supposed to move apart, but next to that, I couldn't be fucking bothered. If you want to fucking take notes on what he does, go watch a guide. Don't stand in the poison. Make sure to dissolve him in the acid that he thinks he'd be spitting. Next to that, I don't know. The first time we killed him, he dropped a cool ring. Wow, he's copying Sauron, I guess. Joke's on him, I'm the one with the one ring. Literally. And it's not going anywhere, I promise. Afterwards, we run past Venoxus's corpse dissolving in hydrochloric acid. And what follows is the goofiest segment of any dungeon, the boulders. We did it without breaking a single sweat.
That's my favorite part of the whole dungeon.
Wait, it peaks there?
It peaks there? Yeah, dude, that's the peak. I mean, for me.
Bloodlord Mandakir. This guy is sick. The gimmick of this fight is that players actually have to fucking die over and over again in order to win. It's like a voodoo type beat. I love this shit. And the first time I fought him, we had a rule in place by the spectating Fallen.
Yeah?
Slow damage.
He's gonna be great.
You gotta let Kosher top the meters, right? So you gotta hold back.
Yes.
If you're above Kosher, you gotta stop DPS.
That's bullshit.
He's never gonna get hit.
I like this rule.
Some may call this a handicap, but me, I call it treasure. We downed Mandakir in no time, taking it like a Dark Souls marathon with multiple calculated dodges and strategic deaths. On the journey to the next major boss, who sits inside of a looming pyramid, we take a pit stop to possibly my favorite encounter in all of World of Warcraft. You see, there are a number of mini-bosses and side encounters throughout these two dungeons, and Zul'Gurub definitely takes the cake with the amount of gimmicks, mechanics, quests, side bosses, and optional shit that's available. One of these optional bosses is the Gurabashi Chef, a lone troll sitting in his house, cooking food for his family in a banged-up little chef's hat. He hasn't done anything wrong, he has absolutely no lore, but for whatever reason, there's a bounty on his head that we must collect. We lashed out and massacred the innocent troll, trying to cook up some food for his family in his own home. And honestly, I'm gonna admit it, when we killed the chef, I felt like the sun came up. I admit I have a history of hitting my mailman with a lead pipe, accidentally taking my neighbor's mail on their birthday each year, sending tiny explosives to the Stormwind auction house's mailbox, some of which they chose to return to sender. But all in all, it was this deed that made me feel the most alive, and I'm literally dead. Anyways, inside one of the striking pyramids within Zul'Gurub is the High Priestess Kilnara. Kilnara? Yeah, I sure hope we do. She's a lunatic feline lady whose only company just so happens to be hundreds of caged panthers. She unleashes the panthers during the fight, turns into a panther, and has a low chance of dropping a mount that's... drumroll please. Wait for it. Wait for it. A snake. Just kidding, it's a panther! While fighting her for the first time, I passed away. That there was a tactical death. The group is only as strong as the weakest link, so I figured to get rid of myself to empower everyone else.
I love that logic for you.
Sound logic. And with that, Kilnara is defeated. Another debate won with daggers and fire. And in terms of the Panther mount, it didn't drop. Panther, I hardly know. On one of the subsequent runs of this place, that's a few miles outside of God's jurisdiction, 2 of the many bind unequipped items dropped from the mobs.
Oh my god! Wow!
You see, in World of Warcraft, it is common courtesy that when these items drop, everybody in the party needs on them, and whoever wins sells them on the auction house. So I don't know what I did to make Lady Luck caress my face that day, but when BOEs dropped back to back while clearing trash and I won both rolls, I most certainly felt overjoyed, until a paladin messaged me, and he was from Faralina. Oh god.
How much on that ring?
25k.
Lol. You're a joker. You don't even deserve to roll on that based on your shitty damage.
Subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/@cozy.
11.9k subs. Pink flower portrait.
That's me.
That channel is not all that foreign to me.
Yeah, the things that your race has done to these trolls is also not that foreign to me.
I may or may not have watched one of your videos in the past. Got us up. Your approach to this interaction was actually fun. Got me there.
Okay.
What did you do, buddy?
At the very end of the dungeon, after his ideologies flipped like Tanner Brongar off the vape, the insecure Faralina Paladin realized trading wasn't possible since we're on different servers. Yeah, like I was gonna give him any of these anyway. I told him to stand still, and like a good little pet, he listened. Then I kicked him for no reason, and he disappeared into the void.
Bye.
I was gonna put them and ask for autograph.
Damn, that's better. Cozy, you're not on.
I'm sorry, I whispered to him, watch this, and then before he kicked him. And then ignore, because I don't want to deal with whatever the fuck he's gonna say next. I deleted the 2 BOEs because I do not give a fuck. I am Dorian Gray without the painting. God has a restraining order against me. As for lowly paladins, to whom I've had quite a number of run-ins with, do not ask your god why I am here. Instead, ask God why he sent me to be the one to punish you. I am so tired of explaining my genius. Move on. We trek up a hill and are faced with ghosts that cannot touch us. Then we are met face to mask with Zanzil. This guy is my second favorite boss in Zul'Gurub, right behind the chef. His bit is that he has cauldrons that you must click that correspond with these 3 different things he randomly does. If he summons zombies, run to the red cauldron to blow them up and deal damage to yourself. If he calls his big lads, run to the blue cauldron to freeze them. And if he calls down his graveyard gas, for my holy sake, please fucking grab the green cauldron or you will all... The 13th Major Arcana. Fun fact, death makes me turn down for what? I love this bit, and objectively speaking, he is the raddest looking boss in both of these dungeons. And he has one of the best gimmicks. We vanquished him and continued onwards. We fought a few other side bosses, did a few other side gimmicks, etc, but then we scaled the massive pyramid in the center of this ancient Gurabashi settlement. After massacring some big guys, it's on to the final boss. Jindo, the Godbreaker. Yeah, I'd love to see you try and break me. Fuck off. His bit is that you, do damage to him, then he goes immune, and these 3 chains appear that are tied to the ghost of Hakar, the Blood God. Ooh. We have to stand on these chains while big donuts are being sent down onto us, and use the ghosts of the big guys we killed before to smash these chains so we can break them one at a time. Then he's dead. Upon my first time killing the boss, I thought that this whole chain segment was like the second of 3 or 4 phases, but it's not. That's it. Wait, that's it?
Yeah.
I was expecting there to be something after the chains.
No, I told you. After the stompies, you're done.
Blizzard ran out of funding.
You guys did great. I'm proud of you. I watched the whole thing.
Wow, thanks, Dad.
Thanks,
Yeah.
man.
High fives all around.
Yeah, have fun.
You're not the boss of me.
Yeah, fuck you. I was blown away, not at the spectacle, but at the complete lack of spectacle. Like, seriously? That's it? What blew me away more was when the Mandakire's tribute bow dropped. And, well, you know me. I got 23 of these bows in my bank. And it has a 10% drop chance. I also got all the bows from Black Temple. When you're on a roleplay server, you can roleplay as somebody who needs bows, even if you can't use them. Ooh!
Kosher, what do you need a bow for?
Oh, that's a great question. Go ahead, type that little comment, give me engagement. The tables have burned. The one thing that you petty inferior morons had as designated hunter loot is now mage loot. I also got the Hexer's mask to drop, and god, it looks good. Don't worry, I'm still wearing the goggles, they're just transmogged. The old gods told me that that's allowed. They also told me a lot of other shit that would blow your fucking mind, but we'll get to that.
So, Kosher, what do you think?
What I think the highlight was killing the chef, and then like...
Dude, weren't the boulders the fucking highlight?
Okay, yeah, the boulders were pretty tight. Going into that guy's house when he's trying to make food, that was pretty cool.
Murder.
So who am I inviting?
I don't
Joy
know.
Boy?
There's so many people that want to. Yeah, Joy Boy here. I'll leave.
You got Kosher here. Everyone wants to play.
Yeah,
Exactly.
pretty much.
He's YouTube fan.
Yeah.
With boulders and murders on the menu in Zul'Gurub, what could possibly make Zul'Aman even hold a candle? The answer is a mount, but we'll get to that. It's nice to cleanse the palate when speedrunning the destruction of all troll civilization, and so we ran a few basic heroics, and whilst doing this I came in contact with Lexra, the Blood Elf warrior. Now, they didn't do anything wrong. Matter of fact, they were a great tank and actually did everything right, but I was on my bullshit. Yo, Lexra, did you catch the game last night?
Game?
Fine.
Log hit the net for sure.
He had top game.
What game are you talking about?
Dude, come on, would you?
This guy doesn't even know what game we're talking about.
And he should.
The Reds went 0-15. Come on.
I don't watch sports. Lol.
We're not talking sports, dude.
Then I have no clue.
Stop moving the goalposts.
Some of you still lagging on my screen.
Well, you should have caught the game.
Would need to know what it was first. Lol.
Yeah, come on.
It's streaming right now. You can catch up as we speak.
Where?
Oh my god, do you just ask a pirate where his treasure is? Be honest. Am I everything you imagined and more?
Will I be the G that I was?
No.
You have redefined the word wondrous. It now starts and ends with the word kosher.
As you have spoken, so it shall be.
Lexra, you're redeeming yourself. Keep it up.
Takes a knee.
Yeah, that's what I like to see.
Strange run. Heart. Later.
Hey, subscribe to Lexra. If you see this video, stop watching. Go watch the fucking game. Okay, enough talk. Don't touch that mouse. Let's destroy the Amani. Zul'Aman. Zul'Aman, the last stronghold of the Amani trolls. The natives of Azeroth, crammed up in a corner in the forests of Lordaeron that they used to own. For thousands of years they were handed elves left and right by the elves. So why are we, the players, sent here? To finish what the elves started. But I must admit, it does feel a bit awkward getting into this place with a blood elf in the group, but the awkwardness is replaced with hilarity when you realize just how far Blizzard went to ensure we felt like we were on the right side of history despite being on the wrong side of that coin by introducing the timer. You see, if you free prisoners and defeat bosses within the time given at the top of your screen, one player in the party is rewarded with the Amani Battle Bear mount. So, in other words, if you butcher the last remains of the once great Amani Empire fast enough, you get a mount. Yeah. I'm sold now. Glory to the Sunwell, Baladash, Malinore, and all that, right, elves?
Shut up, Kingslayer.
Okay. Take the chef from Zul'Gurub, for example. Do you think I was born with a moral compass? Absolutely not. I just want the mount at this point, and if I gotta finish some old god / elven war crimes for it, I'll do them as many times as it takes and then some. Besides, the old gods are chill like that. Did you know that? Because I did. Anyways, first boss, Akilzan.
Hey, you guys are watching Bird Up, the worst show on television.
This first boss is a bird, man, and he's pretty fly. Thanks, guys. Essentially, this boss is the Valkyrie encounter from Icecrown Citadel. Birds will pick people up, and you have to kill the birds. If you don't kill the birds will bird and carry the bird people away, and they will bird, so don't let them bird. And then the bird strat is not to bird and to bird the bird, and then bird. I got grabbed by a bird. Ask me anything. Bird. Don't get grabbed by the bird. Kill the bot. Next up is Nalarak, and he's barely worth a mention. Right, thank you. So we do this thing where we're all like, ooh, okay, ooh, get him. Okay, he's pressing buttons on his keyboard. Wow. Anytime I go on vacation, I always have to pee when I'm in the car. So naturally, we stop at a rest stop or a gas station countless times along our journey. Oftentimes, these public bathrooms that I go to in the rest stops and gas stations have one stall inside of them. I'll walk inside, knock on the stall, and it's occupied, of course. So I grab the door and shake it violently. Then I leave and do not address it ever again. Anyways, Nalarek is a boring, stupid boss. If you disagree, you're part of the fucking problem, you fucking slut. Don't you know, there's the FBI's most wanted and the FBI's least wanted, and I just so happen to fall in between. So do you really want to pipe up and try to tell me otherwise? This is not a discussion zone. Move on. Nalarek is a terrible boss made by terrible people who have lied to and destroyed themselves for nothing. Janale, on the other hand, is a G. A swagged up fuck, a pimp. Best boss by a landslide, and here's why. Something about this boss and about this dungeon that makes me adore this whole little encounter are these fellas right here, the Flamecasters. You see, mages have an ability called Spell Steal, which, believe it or not, steals a spell from an enemy. Holy shit. And Flamecasters will occasionally cast a buff on themselves that increases their haste to an unfathomable speed. I'm talking Risk of Rain type B, so the bit here is to ignore all mechanics, have two mages steal the buff from the Flamecasters, forget the rest of the party, fuck them, and run up to the boss to absolutely blast it to hell and back. There we go, I got mine. Let's go.
Let's go.
You don't need me, do you? Or should I abandon them and go with you?
Oh, shit.
Fuck him up.
Yes! Pump. Are you guys okay?
Yeah, we're fine. We got this. We got this.
We'll do it. We got it.
Come on.
We got it.
2%.
Come on, we got it! Yes, dude! I died afterwards.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't count.
Good shit. Alazy is up next, but we should rename him to How Easy. This is the last boss you need to slay before the timer runs out in order to get the Amani Battle Bear. He's quite straightforward. He drops these little puddles that give you infinite mana, and then because I'm a caster, I just let everybody else figure out what to do, and I go and stand in my puddles and press my little fire buttons. Halazi is defeated. It's going from one captor to another. Let's not call this saving.
Oh, no.
And I get my mount 2 times.
Now we're gonna see the trinket drop.
I'm sorry. We were in a group with a blood elf, and I felt like they didn't deserve it, you know, lore implications and all that. Go ahead, type that comment. It doesn't even go in my bank, though. It just sits in my fucking inventory. It's insane that Blizzard thought that this would be okay. Whatever. Ow. Sorry. Hexlord Malakras. This guy is a character from Hearthstone who they decided to add into World of Warcraft. His entire bit is that he has 2 droogies at his side, 2 buds, 2 goons. And you gotta goon. You gotta take them out, and I'm not talking candlelit dinner. You do damage and you... fuck. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, boy.
Hey, yo, stop wasting no fucking people time, yo. Doing anything for a fucking...
Happy birthday to you.
Did you guys ever play Hexit? I loved Hexit. Hexit? Pff, I don't even know who she is. Anyways, we slew the boss somehow through sheer power and William, and we got jack shit for it. Didn't stop us from lying to Fallen, though.
Yeah, it was a tank paladin, heal pound 3 reps.
Dude, the trinket? Holy shit. Oh my god.
Oh my god, the trinket dropped.
What, a trinket drop?
Yeah, man.
No, it didn't.
He always did have a thing for trinkets. Don't know why.
What's with your trinket?
Dakara, the Invincible. Hey, I have that mount. This is the final boss of Zulaman, and the new temporary leader of the Amani Forest Trolls. This guy is like Zuljin, except he has both arms and both eyes and a worse voice actor. Don't tell me this guy isn't in every way a downgrade. But the Amani are sorta known for downgrades, unfortunately. Though I digress. The Amani Warlord has multiple phases in which he changes into various animals that have copious amounts of whimsical, wacky mechanics. He can be a bear, a lynx, then a bird or a dragon hawk. And like every boss in ZG and ZA, he has a lot going on, but I am not reading that, so we slaughter him, and Zulaman is silenced eternally. But I got a bear, so deal with it.
Congrats on your mount.
Thanks, man. Wait, does this mean, since I played the game, does this mean I can be more than an active member now?
Yeah.
Hell
Possibly.
yeah. Possibly? Will you flip a coin?
flip a coin in a bit.
While a coin flip in this entropic universe is certainly a nice way of deciding things, I prefer more than just heads or tails as options. I like having 22 to pick from, and that's why, whilst I waited for Fallen to get back to me on whether or not I'd get a promotion, I started a new business. You see, I'm known round these parts as an annoying thorn in the side, or in other words, the skeleton jester. I joke, I jest, I sing and dance, bone puns and cranium cracking jokes left and right, but while selling skeleton jokes may have made me over 100,000 gold in the past, with my intense barrage of jests, there came new competition.
Selling dad jokes.
While I love to see the inspiration, this right here meant I needed a new angle, so I decided to try something new, something no one would expect. I got goggles that can peer into the future, so I may as well put them to use in my new tarot card reading business, bitch! I may be the skeleton jester and a domestic terrorist, but I am also level 99 in tarot. Come one, come all. We're all fools until the 21st. Come get your readings. It's easy. You give me gold. You roll 0 to 21, and then based off of what number you get, I pull one of the cards, and your fate will be revealed. What do you say?
Man, you can suck my woo!
Fantastic! Helladin! Wanna buy a tarot reading?
Just this once.
40 gold. Roll from 0 to 21.
9.
Oh, the hermit!
Don't laugh at that.
You know, what this card's telling me is that, I think you need to get outside a bit more, bud. Hey, Nushin. Okay.
Is that kosher?
Hey, wanna buy a tarot reading?
Sure.
Roll 1 to 21.
17.
My, for someone who shines like yourself, the star card is often called the luckiest.
It must be because the kosher is talking to me.
It is! I am selling tarot readings! You! Bunby the Noble.
You walk very slowly.
I have Lyme disease.
Hot.
Would you like to buy a tarot reading? It's only 5 gold.
Will it kill me?
Not if you do it right.
No bunnies. Do you accept non-bunny payments?
I don't know.
Oh, you said gold, not bunnies. You don't see the 20? Frown.
20? Oh, Judgment! That is an amazing card and an amazing future. Judgment means blah blah blah. Congrats!
I did great.
You did!
Can I give it to someone else, though? Frown.
Sure, but it's gonna cost you 8 gold.
This sounds like a scam.
It does! That's the best part. Because it's not. Ah! What have you done? Good God! My goggles have been transformed into bunny ears! You monster! Sith Roken! Hey! You wanna give me 5 gold? No, that's okay, just think about it. Alas, poor welcome mat. Over a year you've laid here. I've pulled the 13th card for you. Rest well. You! No!
What about the devil?
15! The devil. It's actually a card that represents losing your shackles. Shocker, right? Anyone who pulls the devil card is often ruled in a state of addiction or something else that rules their life.
Thank you, wise kosher.
Doc! Only 7 gold, and your fate will be revealed.
I'm sorry, I have no gold, friend. I have been away for many moons.
Just give me some random items, it's fine.
20.
20? That's the Judgment card! I've seen this one twice. It means that the future is bright and full of grand, beautiful dawns and beginnings.
How funny, he came back today for a new beginning.
See, the cards don't lie. Farewell for now, Doc. Though, I feel we may cross paths again. Only time is to tell.
Who knows?
The old god's problem. It's just 3k gold.
3k gold? I pay you 3,000 gold?
Yes! And I'll reveal your future to you. Ooh.
Sounds hella scammy.
It absolutely probably is, allegedly. But it's not a scam. It's the opposite of too good to be true.
I'm not gonna play this tune much longer, so whatever. Sure, kosher, reveal my future.
Oh, shit. All you have to do now is roll from 1 to 21, then tell me the number that you got.
6.
6? You got 6?
Yeah, 6.
6 is the lovers. Seems like meeting you on this highway in the middle of nowhere was fate.
What's my future, then?
I'll tell you what, if I also roll a 6 from 1 to 21, I will give you back your money and give you the rest of your reading for free.
What the hell? Sure.
I got 6! What was that? 10k?
Whoa, bit more than what I gave you, sugar.
Fuck. I can see all sorts of things with these goggles, you have no idea. Surely I had to have come here for a reason.
Alright, sugar, so long as you keep handing me 10,000 out of nowhere like that, we got ourselves a deal. How about you port us both to Dalaran and then we see where this goes?
Alright, you got it. Portal coming right up. It's the most expensive portal I've ever made.
Say, I just got a queue to pop, but after my dungeon, you want to find out why they call me Hussy the Horse Girl? Heart.
'Cause you like horses?
Yes.
That's rad. I like horses too. I had an undead horse for a while, but I prefer the nether drays. It's a long story.
But I'm also really, really good at writing.
Oh, like horses?
Yes. This was the best 10k you've ever spent, sugar. I'll see ya in a bit to make it worth it. Heart. Love you, Kosher.
Oh. Huh. What did I just do? Looking into the future now, I'm starting to see what she meant. You see, I sort of put myself into debt by giving away so much of the gold that I earned during Wrath of the Lich King to new players that I needed to regain it by making absolute bank. I also needed to pass the time while Fallen was making his decision on whether or not I'd be a member again. Afterwards, I decided to take a well-deserved nap. In some ruins in the Arathi Highlands, where else but this scenically beautiful location? This is a roleplay segue. Do you guys like that? I'm going to sleep in my comfortable room. I sure hope nothing hallucinatory spawned from delirium visits me to deliver exposition and character development.
Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up.
Huh! Yo, I'm sleeping here!
That's why I had to wake you.
What a stupid fucking exchange of dialogue. Okay, what do you want, Lovecraft? And make it quick. I got an appointment with Husky the Horse Girl in like 20 minutes, and I don't intend on...
Kingslayer, you've deviated from the path.
The path? What amphetamine are you toking on, Barnacle Boy? Make it make sense. Make it quick. Come on.
You know exactly what I mean, Kingslayer. You crafted those goggles with intent to see into the futures only we can provide. To see the path that would lead you to slaying Deathwing. You wanted this, and the Black Empire delivered. Yet here you are deviating, moving away from the road that we paved for you, selling card readings and going on Darkmoon Faire dates.
Look, excluding people who pick up hitchhikers, a little detour has never hurt anyone. I'll go on doing my thing for a bit, being a member of Synergy, then I'll just get back on the road. I'll get back to it, okay? Sound good, boss?
No, it doesn't. You need to get back on it now.
Now? You listen here, cockface. I'll follow the path promised to me on my own terms, got it?
You do not have terms. We laid it all out for you every step of the way. An orderly road that led on for years to come. You've seen it already. WoW Classic will never end. They will keep releasing expansions as they were, over and over, slapping that tag onto the end of it, until Armageddon. That's a free excuse to make a trilogy every year, a cinematic masterpiece chasing after the final boss for each expansion. How could you let this chance slip away? A lucrative and formulaic model that matches Blizzard's perfectly. It'd make the old god central to the plot as well, leading up to BFA Classic when N'Zoth himself is the final boss. But instead of choosing the one road, the one plane of certainty where you know you'll have success and consistency, you instead keep turning around and running along for mindless distraction. A promotion in a guild. Tarot readings, you've opened up so many detours and side roads. So many possible futures and outcomes that didn't previously exist. So many that wouldn't ever exist had you simply stuck to the plan that we had made. Need I show you the consequences?
Show me what? What is this? Is this supposed to be some sort of revelation like in episode 2? Is this really what we're doing now?
Not exactly.
Whoa, now you got too much dip on your chip. I'm not really chill with this, and I'm starting to think that maybe the old gods are bad guys.
Silence. Take a gander here. This is a future in which you deviate from our goal of slaying Deathwing and make a series about a goblin rogue named Flowerstain instead. What an odd thing that would be. Or perhaps we take a look here where your classic WoW videos fall off a steep cliff and you decide to start making tier lists and reaction videos, which strip you of all personality and heart, leaving only a hollow husk behind. Or what about this, where streamers react to your videos and unapologetically refer to it as content unironically, as you are used as a stepping stool for multimillionaires to meet a daily upload quota. And now we reach Exhibit D, where you find yourself burnt out and aimless, to a point where you feel no inspiration, and lean entirely into your idols, and trip into the pitfalls of imitation.
As Kosher Samsa awoke one morning from uneasy dreams, he found himself transformed in his bed into a scarab. Lord.
What you are witnessing here is a Barney Beekeeper from Asmongold Reacts.
This is so funny.
Or you stop making videos entirely and decide to casually play classic WoW until Mists of Pandaria, where you quit on the mountain in Jade Forest that you've dreamt about for years on end. There's no point in this one. Come. Why do you linger, Kingslayer? Let's get a move on. Another future is one in which you end up as a Death Knight named Judas who makes the worst rap music the world has ever seen.
Yeah, my name is Judas and I'm taking Advil. Everybody watch it when I'm popping these pills.
Such pathetic futures await you when you don't do what's told. You were given guidelines. You were given a formula. You were given a plan. And you dare attempt to make loopholes or walk away? This is a gift.
A gift that, if removed, would blind me, right?
How many times need we tell you, Kingslayer, if you remove the goggles, you will be blinded forevermore?
And yet there is not one future where I'm blind. Checkmate, fatherfucker. You got it twisted.
Kingslayer, don't touch the goggles. Listen, and listen well. Kingslayer, your last trilogy was so perfect and so well received, it caught the attention of the great, all-knowing N'Zoth. What did you expect when spending so much time in a Saronite citadel? That whispers wouldn't eventually reach your pretty little head? The idea of leveling through an expansion with the goal of slaying the final boss in a cinematic story is a perfect formula that can be repeated until the end of time. A lucrative business model that you should never pass up. And think of it, really think of it. If you keep this up eventually, when we have BFA Classic and N'Zoth as the final boss, ooh, with these old god goggles, imagine the story you could tell while making N'Zoth the big bad all along. Retconning all of your original ideas for something more simple and easy to digest, easier to sell.
The big... What? Wait, no. So, wait. This entire pack that I made with the old gods is a ploy to sell my soul to make shitty videos and eventually get me to play BFA Classic? Are you fucking serious? I'm not touching that with a light-year-long pole. Suck my root, bitch. Look, I'm gonna rip off the goggles and do my own thing. I'm Does that sound peachy with you?
No, you will not reject our gift.
Gift? You're a bad trip that's slightly less eloquently spoken.
I am literally you, the perfect you, the you that continued this perfect system. An easy way to make videos. Forget your own little dreams. Forget the future that you personally wanted. A lonely, pathetic fate on some rock nobody ever cared for. Create what people want to see, not what you want to create. I am the you who succeeded, the you who's praised, the you without imperfection.
Yeah, well, I had sex with your wife.
What?
The thing that made the Kingslayer trilogy so fun and worth it was that I didn't sell myself out to some formulaic bullshit that could be redone over and over again. It was because I owed something to my inner child and I fucking did it for him. I told a story only I could, with a plastic Frostmourne and a cyber cartel. I didn't do shit for any metrics, not for views or the algorithm. I did it for me. So going into Cataclysm, yeah, I never had any dream of killing Deathwing. So you know what? I'm not gonna fucking do it. The path that you've shown me is lame and unfortunate. Like a snail with ALS. It's cringe, not chill. And if this is how the Old Gods customer service acts, I certainly have no dream of being on your side.
Kingslayer.
The name's Kosher, bitch. Want me to write it down for you so you can give your all-knowing god an autograph? Let me give you a word of advice. The next time you go around showing people alternative futures they created, don't let the bag out of the cat in terms of their agency. I won't try to act like I took these goggles to see the futures as some master plan, but now I've seen everything that I have to get what I want.
You sold your soul.
For once, you know what? The joke's on the house. I sold my soul? I've got no soul to sell, dumbass! But I still have my heart. I'm taking these goggles off, and I'm gonna make a banger Cataclysm series, one that'll satisfy what I want. You know what I used to do? I used to draw tons of pictures of Ragnaros back in the day. I used to fantasize about having the flaming armor from Firelands. And you know what? Maybe all along, what I wanted was to be the Firelord, not the Dragon Slayer, even if it's not conventional. That's what I want. That is what would make little me happy. So, I'll tell my story, then end it the way it was always supposed to. And thankfully, you have shown me everything that I needed to see. You made a Faustian exchange with a soulless wretch who so happens to still have his heart, and there's no art without the latter. Toodaloo, you raspy gimp.
This was not our destiny.
Well. Times change. While I made my first character in 2007, I quit after a really short period. Cataclysm is when I really got into the game though, and the first character I committed to was a gnome warlock. Simply put, it was because of fire spells and the succubus. A bit later, I made a goblin because I was always teased and called a goblin IRL. Plus, they had New York accents and I'm from New York, blah blah blah. The goblins were my pride and joy. When Firelands groups were being formed in the chat, I always wanted to do it, to venture into that ember-ridden plane and skank out with the Firelord himself. Knowing that I could have armor that was on fire was the coolest concept to me. Ironically, I told myself that while I missed out on Arthas, I still had chances to do some really cool stuff, except I never did Firelands. But looking at this whole project, all these circumstances, this entire thing is about second chances. Just like how I became the Kingslayer, I want to do what would make my younger self proud, even if it's not conventional. That's what's important to me. The guy that kid would inspect in Orgrimmar and go, wow, I want to be like that guy. That's who I want to be. So with the goggles shattered, the old gods severed, and the incorruptible Kosher the Kingslayer on their way once more, sugar-free, whisper-free, subscribing is free, all that good stuff, we make our way towards the future I wanted most. The one that I create. With a pocket thousands of gold heavier, the last of the Gurabashi and Amani slaughtered, and the wacky whispers finally silenced, twilight quietly fell upon Orgrimmar. Deep into the night, Fallen's coin landed, and it landed in my favor. Yeah, dude! Thanks, man! We did it!
You did it. For killing that fucking chef.
It was official. I was now, for the first time again, a member of Synergy. And all it took was killing some innocents. Do you see what I mean by this being a cyber cartel? Raskolnikov may have gotten a guilty conscience, but I got a promotion. I don't get how killing is bad. It's worked out really well for me thus far. I even got a whole title for it. But if the chef and my drip didn't give it away, my slaying would not stop at a king. For as my promotion brought an overwhelming jubilation, the elemental realm of fire churned, and the molten front that assaulted the Firelands head-on was opened. Arguably one of the most iconic raids in the game's lifetime, and my personal favorite part of Cataclysm. And now, as an actual member of my guild, hundreds of thousands of gold from skeleton jokes and tarot readings, and 2 troll empires iced and left for dead in my wake, I stood at the incandescent ingresses of the vermilion saffron realm. My goggles are shattered, my shackles dismantled, and there I stood at the threshold of yet another second chance, one that I could never pass up. Embers danced in the smoky orange sky, and the smoldering path to my fantasy was set ablaze. I have crawled, walked, and ran here upon burnt bridges to set ablaze the elemental lord of fire himself, and now, finally, I have arrived to become Kosher the Firelord. But that is a tale for another time. I found a drawing of Ragnaros I made as a kid. A drawing that reminded me why I play classic WoW. A drawing that pushed me to become what younger me was never able to. A drawing that showed me just how rare second chances are, and how lucky I am to be able to take a hold of one now. Across burnt bridges I tread to the vermilion saffron realm one final time. For this is the story of how I became Kosher the Firelord. Greetings ladies and everybody else, and welcome to the Firelands finale. My sincerest apologies it took so long to make these Cataclysm videos. I got in a car accident. The Grim Reaper came to me and was so intimidated that he stayed on his horse and fucked off, so, you know, just usual cozy capers. Anyways, where did I leave off? Oh! Right. On the last episode, I severed my connection to the old gods, realized where my passion laid, and was demoted in my guild, which prompted many Herculean tasks to regain membership, such as dismantling 2 troll empires, selling tens of thousands of gold worth of tarot readings, accidentally buying a GF, and, of course, murdering a chef in his own home, which was the task that gave me that sweet promotion. That's what's up when you're in a cyber cartel and you're the Kingslayer. Not sorry. Anyways, enough about my alleged past offenses, let's talk about my Firelands felonies. It goes without saying that as a member of Synergy now, I could safely assume that I would be able to count on them when the biggest raid of Cataclysm Classic released. One problem.
Preachy quit, Fallen quit, everyone's quitting, we're leaving. I don't see us reaching Deathwing, so like, you know, what's the point? You know what I'm saying?
It has been many months since my last escapade, and now I am the only member of Synergy. How the mighty have fallen. No pun intended. On the bright side, I guess that kind of makes me the guild leader, huh? But on the dark side, that would mean that I am, essentially, guildless. A fate worse than death in classic WoW, and I would know I am undead. Anyways, guild relations aside, let's talk about Firelands, the epic 7-boss endgame raid, where you act like the Roman Emperor Caligula on a bad day, and instead of going to war with the ocean, you go to war with the element of fire itself, except you have an actual chance of winning. Here, you face off against everything from massive flaming spiders to phoenixes, and eventually, the elemental lord of fire himself. But, at least on my server, what I found to be the case is that Firelands groups are very exclusive. Especially if you're guildless, and especially ones that secure any of the fights in Heroic. Everybody already has their friends and they're not looking to make any new ones. It's like trying to get into a Freemason butler circle jerk in Dubai. Another thing to note is the existence of the legendary staff Dragonwrath, a staff that's best in slot in every way imaginable, and can literally turn you into a fucking dragon. Like, this staff requires an arduous many-week-long quest line, full of raid logging, special bosses, expensive embers, and lots of drama, seeing that 24 people have to all band together for weeks on end to help one single person get this staff, all within the confines of Firelands. And surprise party, do you know what class was chasing this legendary staff the most? I'll give you 5 seconds to guess. Just kidding, it's mages. Of course it's mages. What a major surprise. It's pun. And I'm not sure if you know this, but I am a cringe little mage.
You are a cringe mage, Cozy. You should re-roll Warrior.
You're right. Mysterious rogue. Whatever will I do? I'll never get into a group for Firelands. Huh? Esfand?
Be the mage you wish to see in this world.
Wow. I'm gonna do that. You're right. I shouldn't give up just because I'm a mage. I came this far, right? Why stop now? Things are gonna look up. Somehow, some way, I'll find a group for Firelands. Thanks, Esfand. Oh, also, sorry for drowning you.
Asshole.
I think I deserve that. So, to recap, the only thing that I want is to get one full clear of Firelands, get some of that cool flaming armor that I saw when I was younger, and call it a day. But it really doesn't look like that's gonna happen, as I am essentially guildless now, which makes finding groups for anything extremely difficult. Firelands groups are unreasonably exclusive on my server, due to low player count, or the anniversary realms, or whatever you want to chalk it up to. I have no logs of Firelands because I haven't fucking done it, significantly reducing my chances of getting invited to any group, and I'm playing the class that is least likely to get accepted, but I have to be the mage that I want to see in the world, right? But just as I went back to the drawing board to come up with some sort of idea, an ex-Synergy member named Tantrum, who really liked my videos, was under the assumption that I was eventually going to make one about Firelands, which was correct. You're fucking watching it. Reached out to me and extended an invite for their exclusive guild run of Firelands. I, of course, took this. What Tantrum did next was lie to their guildmaster, telling him I was well-versed in Firelands and knew the fights quite well, which prompted him to kick one of the mages to make room for me.
Fuck out of here.
And as if things couldn't get even more interesting, Tantrum used their birthday, which lined up with the raid date, as a means to an end to get me invited. This is what happens when you have a really bangin' social capital and you're the Kingslayer. Not sorry. I was socketed into the raid group and given a week to study up and learn everything I could about heroic Firelands. And you know how I spent that week? You think I watched guides or read up on my rotation to get a good parse? Fuck no. A guide? Do I look lost to you? I spent that week doing fuck all, and on the day of the raid, on only 2 hours of sleep by the way, I was awoken by a panicked Tantrum, who didn't seem all too thrilled that I didn't know the fights. But of course I don't. You're bringing a jester to a tourney. What do you expect?
Like, right, of course you wouldn't. But you wouldn't be Cozy the Kingslayer if you, came prepared, really.
Exactly. I should have played TBC, because that's Illidan's whole bit. I would have fit right in.
Do you have Foji downloaded?
Is that an add-on?
Mm.
No.
Oh, How much do you know about this?
I know there's
That's okay.
7 bosses.
This is gonna be real special.
There's 25 people, so if one person doesn't really...
No.
What's up? It's fine.
I would love to say that that's true. Unfortunately, their mechanics.
Would you like a rundown of each boss?
Well, is there anything that's like absolutely essential that if I don't know this, then it's Armageddon?
Pretty much just don't stand in shit. There's a chance that a drone will his armor will focus on you, but the pillars that are close to you.
Alright. So, don't stand in fire.
And thus, with newfounded knowledge on the quote-unquote mechanics of Firelands, I flew off on my nether drake to the portal for Mount Hyjal. Tantrum would get their desired birthday gift of starring in a Firelands video, and I would get my childhood dream of having Firelands armor. Everything was going according to plan. Don't touch that mouse. Let's finally enter the cleverly named Firelands. Yeah, I sure hope it does. What you are seeing here is a clusterfuck patchwork abomination of the guilds Press Your Buttons and Chonk. Oh yeah, and Synergy. Me, hi, hello, Synergy's guildmaster here, don't mind me. Anyways, I gazed out at the many goofy names, some of which I had run into previously, like Raven or Midnight, and new names that stuck out like a dead jellyfish in a field. Like there was a hunter named Hawk with a pet named Tua, plus a holy paladin named Low-Key Vibe, and the guildmaster's name of Chonk was Soy Boy Roy. This is a fucking godsend group. We are dying on trash mobs. I fucking love it here. Moving our offense into the elemental realm, we demolished the flaming titans and roaming packs of corrupted creatures sworn to defend Ragnaros at all costs, while the guild talked over one of the raid members' sudden absences, which he claimed was due to a cell phone repairman coming to his house. Yeah, right. We make our way up the twisting, cindery halls, traced with webs and ember-ridden arachnids, to be met face to face with the first boss.
Boss 1, Bethtolak.
You know how in Dark Souls you get through Blighttown, then afterwards you fight the Chaos Queen Quelaag, who's this hot woman with big boobies, who's just kinda 3/4 big fiery spider of death and destruction? Ugh, she's a 10, but she's also a fucking spider. That's what Bethtolak reminds me of, except without the titties, so what's the fucking point? She's a boss with some things to do, so already that's raising the bar in terms of Firelands. Essentially, the fight is split into 2 exceptionally difficult phases. When it begins, Bethtolak rises from the ground to the ceiling of her arena, where a few players have to grab onto webs and follow. Up there, they will slowly chip away at her health while avoiding holes and explosions, while the rest of the raid kills more ads than uBlock Origin, amped up on a steroids and desoxin smoothie. Ah, delectable. After she exhausts her energy 3 times, the lame Quelaag comes down and we go one-on-one with her. Or 25 and 1 with her. I've already made this joke, fuck you. Bethtolak fucking hates tanks. She was there in Tiananmen Square. She cannot stand them. So most of the time that she's fixating the tanks, she's turning them into a fucking bomb. The healers need to be on their A game, or their B game, I'm not gonna judge. You know the famous Uber Danger quote where WoW is just standing and hitting? That is all this is. I'm so sick of being the best. I weep that no one will ever match my level. I'm like Alexander the Great. We tread onwards once Quelaim is defeated and our absent raid member who had a cell phone repairman show up to his house returns.
Well, I'm alive.
Oh, thank God.
That was the hooker.
How
was it? His name was
I'm gonna go turn his name. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Next up is a detour that I wasn't expecting one bit. We had to head up a fuck-off ramp and through a mysterious portal that led to a secret boss that one of the many mages needed for the staff quest line. But due to this boss being so out of the way and not an actual part of the day-to-day raid, I'm gonna call it boss 1.7. Why not 1.5? Subscribe.
Boss 1.7, Volcanus.
The fight begins with a number of mobs that need to be mowed down and some surgeon precision needs to be applied to dispelling root effects at the right time. Otherwise...
Wait, no, motherfuckers, why?
Also, a pretty basic ice block pull has to be done to start the fight. A tactic literally used since Molten fucking Core, but somehow, someway, having a mage run in an ice block is too complex for some people.
Now we gotta kill him.
You got any garages in the back? Yeah, it's gonna be.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
What the fuck?
I do be pumping though. Anyways, once everyone is able to rub one out for their feudal lord and things calm down a bit, we get to Vulcanus, a fire elemental that's scaled up to seem intimidating. Ooh, I'm so scared. This guy's bit is that there's fire and you don't stand in it. Other than that, you do damage to the boss. I'm starting to get really disappointed. When Tantrum said,
Unfortunately, their mechanics.
I was sort of hoping for, like, the bosses to have mechanics, not for the only tangible challenge in this raid being the players that I'm with, but that's what happens in good old classic World of Warcraft. Can I get a hell yes in the comments? We vanquish Vulcanus, whose name is half anus by the way, lol, and we triumphantly make our way to the next boss.
Boss 2, Shanox.
Firstly, watch this strat I do.
Anyways, it'll be okay. Then we can get in position. Get a full rebuff.
That wasn't me. Anyways, fuck it, Shanox, the next boss. This is the Huntsman. No, not that one. He is very out of place. He has a southern-ass accent and 2 dogs who rip your shit up and call you mean things in their mind, but joke's on them. I can imagine whatever I want, and I am imagining a terrible fate for them. Because of the fact that I fell asleep in my chair, I didn't record the boss fight, but luckily, somebody in the guild was live streaming the raid to their Twitch, so I snagged a clip of it. Give them a follow for saving this part of the video and capturing my master gamer move in 4K. Shanox is goofy, and he has 2 dogs. You have to avoid standing on traps. Shanox's dog, Rageface, will attack random players over and over again for no fucking reason. The dogs don't die, so you sort of just kite them around into the traps while avoiding Shanox's massive fucking spear. So, to simplify that, we don't stand in fire, attack ads, and hurt the boss. Wow, that's... Phew, this is harder than ICC. Somehow, against all odds, we did it. We defeated Shanox, and I have no clue how. Say grats in the comments right now. Whatever, I'm swag. We trek our way up a hill that has rings on it that we have to avoid. Then it's on to the next boss.
Boss 3, Lord Rylith.
This guy actually has mechanics, holy shit! This is my second favorite boss in Firelands. To make a short story shorter, he's a massive flaming titan, so big that you have to split the raid up and have them fight his legs separately. Whichever leg is being attacked will change the direction he's moving, but he can't go too far off the side or everyone dies. He spawns these volcanoes that he needs to walk over and does a bunch of AoE and shit like that. During one of these AoE attacks, I blinked out of range of every single healer in the fucking world, and I was unfortunately slowly burnt to death by a dot. This is what happens when you're blink happy. I had no mana, there was nothing I could do. Am I doing it right? Do you guys like the relevant drama meme? I worked at Blizzard for 7 years. You guys get it? Anyways, the group continues onward, balancing which leg gets the most damage, switching when they have to, and maneuvering the boss around like an awkward remote control robot. After some ups and downs, Lord Rylith is dismantled and left for dead, and nothing of value is lost. Except for me, you know the drill. He's a goofball who falls victim to my dark art alchemy where I give my life to take his, equivalent exchange and all that. Anyways, dark arts would not be needed in the next boss, as while Lord Rylith has all the flavor of a bangin' Goku-themed taco truck in El Paso, the next boss has about as much flavor as an $80 pile of fucking noodles that you can't pronounce from some piss-off Italian restaurant, so be warned.
Boss 4, Balrog.
Hey, Kosher the Kingslayer, how you doing?
Whoa, but was that Hank Schrader? Am I losing my mind? Goggles really did a number on me, man. I'm getting anxious now. I'm clearly still hearing things and seeing things. I just need to focus on something and count to 10 and like the snake. I'll focus on the snake.
Yeah, I'm not putting Cozy through that anxiety again, man. Don't worry.
Huh? There's no way we got uber dangerous the Clonopin snake before GTA 6. Alright, so it seems like I am losing what's left of my mind, but it's okay, it's fine, because canonically, so is Balrog, a beast of legend who looks straight from Lord of the Rings. Balrog was a knight who fought in the elemental wars during the ancient history of Azeroth, though now that he is imprisoned in the elemental graveyard that is the Firelands, immortality hasn't been too kind to him, and all semblance of sanity that he once had is slipping through his fingers like grains of sand. If we're doing another Dark Souls type beat, Balrog is slowly but surely going hollow. So naturally, Ragnaros put him in charge of defending the moat of lava that surrounds the Firelord's Sulfuron Keep. so that he may have one thing to cling to, while all other things that wants to find him melt away in the saffron hellscape that he's doomed to spend eternity in. But he will not be spending eternity here, since we arrived to fucking kill him! A rich character with wicked lore who's unfortunately not explored, and whose fight is, as Uber Danger has famously phrased, just standing and hitting. The healers have to press their 2 buttons a bunch, which is unfortunate for them, but what's fortunate for us is that we had healers who were pressing buttons and DPS who were pressing buttons. Ain't that wild? Moving from side to side on a countdown so people can grab shards and balance buffs, we absolutely steamroll Balrog, and while he may have came once with a roar, he went out limp with a whimper. Hey, but look, my shoulders are on fire now.
Boss 5, Ellis Resort.
Welcome to the only good boss in Firelands. I said it. I fucking said it. First of all, what you do is stand in this little corner, and if you're not stupid, then Darwin will not hand select you and show you the effects of terminal velocity. Anywho, what we did was form a group of all the mages and 1 priest who I forced into role-playing as a mage. Then we grabbed the corrupted phoenix's feathers when she soared overhead, took flight, and circled the boss, doing insane amounts of damage to her as the first phase went by. We have to fly through these rings at the same time to keep the buff, or else we fall down, and falling is not good with a capital Q, because I do not want to be a part of the ground group. Occasionally, a meteor would land on the ground, while the people not cool enough to fly with the mages and priest would have to stop killing ads and avoiding fire for a moment to kill the meteor. Elisrasor then drops down, and we all have to hide behind the meteor before grabbing the feathers once more and getting back to it. This goes on for a bit before we are all brought to the ground, and Elisrasor has a crazy video gaming moment and creates all these fiery tornadoes that spin all over the place. The wacky thing to do here is to find one, then literally walk in a circle with it so that it cannot hit you. The pathing is so shit here that you can literally just run circles around all of these mechanics and be fine. Once that's done with, Elisrasor gets tired and goes to sleep in the middle of the arena, where we all have to stack up together and lust. I was the hero of our time and used Time Warp, giving us insane haste and inhuman speed as we mowed down the Phoenix, while occasionally not standing in fire and having other people deal with ads. Then the beast was slain, and while the mount didn't drop, cringe, I at least got to experience one fight that has mechanics. And let me say, while it is an S-tier boss for mages and priests, for anyone who's not in the sky, you are literally just avoiding fire and killing ads, while occasionally looking up at the people who get to have fun. Then once the boss falls down, you stand and hit. You cannot make this shit up. Another thing that cannot be made up is the absurdity of the Druid of Flame that we must face off against next, the penultimate boss of Firelands, and final barrier before we enter the Sulfuron Keep and go many on one with Ragnaros himself.
Boss 6, Major Domo Staghelm.
You guys know this motherfucker's first name is Fandral? The right-hand man of Ragnaros, he guards the front door to the keep, a shape-shifting, fire-bending druid twisted beyond repair. And we are here to put a metaphorical bullet into his head from our philosophical 9mm. Allegedly. His fight is complex. Essentially, you stand still, then run out every few seconds. Then everyone turns into a bomb with a different timer and has to move away before you blow up so you don't, kill all of your friends. At the same time, he turns into different animals, like a scorpion or a cat. And to be honest, I hate to say it, Dakara was a better shapeshifter boss, and this guy is a fake and a fraud. Fandral Staghelm is a miscarriage who lived, but we finished the job a few good years after it started, and he was iced in no time at all. Yet another debate one with violence and egocentrism. I can't wait to give my local pawnbroker a visit. That'll be a humanitarian net gain for society because I say so. With Fandral dead, we move into the keep, and I lay eyes on him for the first time. The elemental lord of fire itself. Ragnaros. The Ragnaros I used to draw pictures of. The Ragnaros I used to wish I could get into a group to slay. The Ragnaros that stood right in front of me. The last boss that stood between the usurpation of fire and my bony, greedy hands.
Boss 7, Ragnaros.
Remember in episode 1 when I went into Blackrock Depths and I gave you a rundown of how the Dark Iron Dwarves accidentally summoned the most powerful elemental being they possibly could? Yeah, this is him. After his defeat in Molten Core, he was banished back to the Firelands where he made an alliance with the Emo Dragon to burn the World Tree Nordrassil down. Oh no! Which would give him full access to the most powerful source of magic in the world. Oh no! However, the Cenarian Circle, a potent group of pro-war druid hippies, led by Hamilton Morris himself, sent a strong offensive against Ragnaros in retaliation at the justly named Molten Front. We had to do dailies there for a month. Oh no! But now that we've pushed through Ragnaros' defenses and slaughtered all of his most powerful lieutenants and guards, there is nothing left but him and us. And he is quite ignorant. In the final hours of the Battle of Hyjal, 25 hardened champions assemble, and the final skirmish begins. Ragnaros, for having such banging lore and the rare ability to stick the landing twice, is drastically pulled down by his mechanics, which consist of many synonymous ways to say don't stand in fire and kill ads. However, the waves of lava that you have to dodge straight from Obsidian Sanctum are a breath of ironically fresh air, and there's one part I dig a ton where everyone has to stack up and then move as a team while devastating meteors follow us from one side of the arena to the next. There's also times where rings appear and you have to move to not stand in that. You get it? Despite being an objectively easy fight with little to no conflict, it's made up for in its spectacle. He also gets a pass because, God, I love fire. Anyways, with absolute grace, a pinch of confidence, 2 hours of sleep, no guides, and newfounded fiery shoulders, we defeated Ragnaros and the achievement appeared on screen. Yes! It's as they say, if cinders fall, does that mean fire lands? After many trials and tribulations, the big man falls into the lava, where he is left to this day. We then looked over the loot. The mount didn't drop. Cringe. One of the many items Ragnaros gracefully dropped was the bow. And, well, you know me.
Kosher, what do you need a bow for?
Oh, that's a great question. And it has a really good answer. You guys know why I was never able to do Firelands over a decade ago? Because while I was leveling my Gnome Warlock, I stopped because I didn't like the Alliance, so I made a Goblin Hunter instead. I was given the nickname Goblin, teasingly IRL, and the Goblins had New York accents and said, yo, do I need to say any more? So I switched sides to the Horde, which I found to be way cooler. The idea of being among a band of misfits who found families and camaraderie in an ugly city in some harsh desert was, and still is, one of the coolest concepts to me. The Horde was where I belonged. But since I was not very talented and certainly didn't contain much intellect, it took me a long time to level up that Goblin Hunter, and a lot of it had to do with my obsession with bows. Sure, while my favorite weapon type of all time are scythes, you must understand that I do love bows. A lot of you watching might know about my Trinity Ghoul addiction in Destiny, which is a pretty old running joke at this point, but I really did love the bows in World of Warcraft, so much so that I would run specific dungeons to try and get every single one of them to fill my bank, way back when. Another goal that was, unfortunately, never accomplished. But now, I had a second chance, and it fell into my lap one fateful evening in the temple of a tall hacker. This act of kneading on the bow, winning it, and kicking the hunter set a path for me. I bore a curse from that day forward. I branded my groups with a dark sign that forced into everyone's psyche that anytime a bow drops in a dungeon or raid, I must knead on it. What, did you guys think I was just taking them for no reason? So, Preachy, what was that again?
Kosher, what do you need a bow for?
Oh, right. I need a bow so that I can make this a character that the child in me could look at with bright eyes and unparalleled enthusiasm. So yes, as a mage, I got the bow from Firelands, and nobody's feelings were hurt. The same cannot be said, however, for when the Crown of Flame dropped, the best in slot head item for shamans. And it was bid off GDKP style. Tantrum let everyone know it was their birthday and that nobody else was allowed to bid on it since it was their birthday, and they were serious. However, a fellow mage named the Pinky decided to bid on it regardless, telling us that if he won, he will delete it.
Okay, you can just keep digging yourself in that hole and you can see how well that goes.
How old are you?
Who?
You. What birthday is it for you?
It's my 26th.
Oh Lord, don't tell him that.
There you go.
You better be giving this to me. Okay. Karma will come and get you.
Don't worry, guys. I gave her a bandage.
The Pinky won the Crown of Flame and promptly deleted it. I love the unparalleled chaos of World of Warcraft. Anyways, I opened trade with Tantrum to try and give them 4,000 gold as compensation, and as a thank you for helping me get into the raid group. They took it, then told me they didn't want it, and since I operate on an interest system, I requested back 5,000 gold. Boom! Another profit made. That's what happens when you're the Kingslayer and the Firelord. Can I get a hell yeah? While I stood there, a new bow in possession, flaming armor, and the Firelands conquered, I let out a sigh of relief. Everyone else chatted amongst themselves, celebrating or handing out loot, but all I could think about were the drawings I'd made of Ragnaros all those years ago. The fantasy that I had of dishing it out with the Firelord himself, that finally came to full fruition. I knew that if I stood next to younger me in Orgrimmar, he would excitedly inspect me, hysterically ask away at how to get this or get that. To have Fireland's armor, the Kingslayer title, countless bows in my bank, and the Nether Drakes. With every step I take, I become the mage that I wanted to see in this world more and more. No one else's praise or excitement mattered, only the joy of little me, wherever he may be, lost to time. While the raid group continued on celebrating, I stood still pondering on what's most important to me. The things that I know would make my inner child smile ear to ear, from plastic frostmournes to drawings of Ragnaros. This whole thing has been about second chances. And to my younger self, I did it all for you.
This is the summer. The summer of this. The summer that summers from here on will be compared to. Where memories will be forged into the sand and then hung on a wall for years to come.